Hey guys, so today we are going to learn about the applications of our systems of equations. And so the first thing we want to take a look at is sometimes you'll be asked whether an ordered pair is a solution to your system. So that's going to require either a yes or no answer. So one thing that I want you to keep in mind is that the solution to your system is the intersection point where the two lines cross. So what we're going to do is you can always graph these in Desmos and see if this point is where they cross. Or if you don't have graphing available to you, you can do it by hand. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. So I'm going to teach you if I don't have a graph available, I can always use -2 as my x and 0 as my y. So in the first equation, y is literally 0 equals -2. In place of x, we're going to put -2 minus 4. And now we're going to multiply -2 times negative, which we get +4 minus 4. And in fact, guys, 0 does in fact equal 0, which means that this guy is truthful. All right, now we not only have to test it in the first equation, we have to test this point in the second equation as well. So y is 0 equals x is -2 plus 4. And guys, what is 4 minus 2? Well, that's 2, and 2 does not equal 0. This guy is false, which means this coordinate -2, 0 is not a solution. And why we say that is because the second equation does not use -2, 0. It does not give me something truthful. All right, so let's test out the second option over here. Our point is 2, 5. So again, I'm going to use the first equation and substitute in my x and y. So 2 is x, y is 5, and 2 plus 5, guys, is in fact 7, means that's truthful. And now we're going to substitute in our second equation. Once we substitute in, then I'm going to multiply. So 2 times 2 is 4, and -3 times 5 is -15. And the question is does that equal -11? So 4 minus 15, in fact, is -11, which means this is true. So this is the solution. 2, 5 is my intersection point. All right, now the other application of systems is you can write equations and then solve them to help predict something or help us find something specific between two topics. So we're going to have 3 steps here. We're going to, number 1, identify the 2 topics in the statement, write the system of equations, and then solve my system by either graphing or eliminating. Most of you will probably graph. All right, so here we go. So based on the information given, Alicia is 2 years younger than Bryce. The sum of their ages is 28, and we're looking for how old are they. So we're looking for Alicia's age and Bryce's age. So let's use the information to help us do this. So you know the sum of their ages is 28. So if I took Alicia and I added her age to Bryce, we end up with 28 years old. Now, they also tell us that Alicia is 2 years younger than Bryce. So Alicia is equal to 2 years younger than Bryce's age. So congratulations, guys. You just wrote me a system of equations, and now you can graph this using Desmos. But before you do, this is a fair warning that you cannot use little a and little b when you're typing this into Desmos. You must use x's and y's as the following. So a would be our x and b would be our y in both equations. And now we're going to use Desmos to find the intersection point. So you may have to zoom out, guys, but hopefully you can see this in Desmos, that as we type that in, we get an intersection point of 13, 15. You may have to zoom out so you can see that better, where they cross. The 13 represents that Alicia is 13, and 15 represents Bryce is 15. And why we know that is because X was our A, and A is Alicia, and Y was B, and B was Bryce. All right, let's try another one. So Darian is a college student that needs 2 classes to finish his semester. So our first topic is the number of classes he's taking. And now they also bring in this other idea where they're talking about the credits he earns from each of those types of classes. Okay, guys, so Darian needs 2 classes. We don't know what type of classes these are, so we'll just call them X plus Y, and we'll end up with 2 classes worth. Now, they told us something particular about the credits. His credits he will earn is 5, but the college offers 2 credit level classes and 3 credit level classes. So one of these classes will have 2 credits associated with it, so 2x, and one of them will have 3 credits available for that class. So we'll call that 3y. And congratulations, guys, we just made our system of equations. And now you can actually solve by using Desmos for graphing or elimination. So when we graph this in Desmos, we see that we find our intersection point at 1, 1. That is our solution. So our solution of 1, 1 means that we first have one class of a 2 credit level, and we also have a 1 3 credit level class for Darian. So remember, X represented a 2 credit level class and Y represented a 3 credit level class. All right, let's try the next one. So according to our paragraph, Alina has her savings account, and we also have a second person named Micah in his savings account. So let's start with Alina. Alina has $640 in her savings, and she has to pay $30 a month. So is that in addition to this amount, or am I taking that out of the 640? And in fact, we are taking away $30 per month. And this is how much she has in her account, the money that she's got. All right, but Micah, he has $310 in his account, and he earns $25 per month for dog walking. So in his account, we could represent that by this equation. So now, guys, let's actually use our system and find me the intersection point. Before we can type that into Desmos, though, we have to convert these into X's and Y's. And guys, any amount of time is always going to be the X. So since we're using M for months, the M is going to be replaced with the X because it's the amount of time. So now we can type that into Desmos and find our intersection point. Now, since these numbers are really, really big, you're not going to be able to see them unless you zoom out a lot, guys. So you're going to zoom out, zoom out, zoom out until you find where these two guys cross. And we see that it crosses at 6,460. So the 6 means that in 6 months, they both, Alina and Micah, will have $460 in their accounts. So the Y represented the money in the account, or A, and X represented the time, the amount of months it took. All right, last example. We're going to look at Mateo. He's spending some money to purchase flowers for his mom. And we're going to talk about what type of flowers and how much did he spend. So our 2 topics are just that, the number of flowers that Mateo purchased and the money he spent on each of those flowers. So we know that Mateo bought 9 flowers, and out of those flowers, he could either purchase daisies or roses, and together they made 9 flowers altogether. We also know that Mateo spent $25 on this bundle of flowers, and each daisy costs $2, so $2 per daisy. And we also know that each rose costed him $3. So $3 per rose. And now we have our system. So let's type that into Desmos. Watch out, guys. Make sure to use X and Y first. So our D for Daisy becomes our X, and our R for Rose becomes our Y. So as we look at our intersection point on Desmos, we see that they intersect, the lines intersect at 2, 7. And so that's what we're going to use as our intersection. So the 2 from our point represents our X, or our daisies. So 2 daisies is how many Mateo purchased. And he also purchased 7 roses. Now the Y is 7, and it's the roses because Y is the R, or the rose. All right, so now it's time to practice.